Okay. Now, hello everybody. I'm sorry that the two episodes weren't too interesting, but trust me, this one will be a bit more interesting. This is the time of the Cambrian explosion. It also happened in real life, so it is something that you can also use reference about. This is when the first planets arrive and dominate the lands of the ocean. This is the family tree. As you can see, there are three different kinds of predators, which kind of makes sense because it is probably a very good idea to gather nutrients from other creatures, as a lot of creatures would probably take opportunity from it. We're gonna start from number one, as you can see. Please do pause if you want to read the names, because to be honest, I cannot really pronounce them, and science usually makes things really complicated for everyone, so you can do pause. Okay, let's start with with this one, as you can see. This one is related to one of these that evolved more stream-like shapes. They eventually all of the tentacles merged to create a tail. Oh. It is a herbivore. Which is very close relative, which instead focus all the energy and speed. It has a bit more of something that I like to call spikes. It is purely for defensive purposes. The orange one also takes the niche of the first one that I mentioned. All of these are very closely related to the oval shape that I covered from a couple of weeks ago. And they evolved into two kinds. One of them evolved bombs and another one didn't. The plants evolved quickly. This one is it's really more than just a normal plant. This is very closely related to one of those air sac plants. Okay, you see that little oyster thing? This is the first animal to actually have eye vision. The eyes are very simple, which I can draw over here. It's just a bump and a retina. The light goes in and the light goes out. Pretty easy. And then there's the shell, which it probably has a tiny brain where a nerve goes into it. If we go above, we see two different kinds of plants, like weeds. One of them evolves spikes on the stem, and one of them evolves spikes on the flowers, let's say. This one is one of the predators. That one. It has 4 jaws and it is pretty big, 80 centimeters. There is. That's the animals that evolves the stay at their size, and I make it. And if you remember well, I gave you something like a sneak peek to a future episode, and the creature feeds on this. That the predator mostly eats on small creatures. And it is the second most biggest predator. This creature over here not just develops eyes, but also a nervous system. I can show you 2 examples. There is an open circulatory system and there's the other kind which humans use. The open circulatory systems is like a giant blood pool inside of you. While what humans use are nerves. Now let's go back to the predators. They're very primitive, so they didn't evolve a second opening, let's just say. Like in flatworms and jellyfish. Yeah, pretty gross. But let's just say it is also very inefficient, so they probably evolve it again. Actually being serious, jellyfish actually use it. I know it's gross, but just trust me on that one. As you can see, there's a plant which evolved fin-like structures to filter nutrients better and also to detect predators by the water currents that they create. Below, just beside it, here comes the top predator. It feeds on other predators, the apex predators or predators. This is the 2 predators, and that is the apex predator, right at the top of the food chain. And also, as you can see, the family tree has become a lot more complicated. But let's just focus on this one. Instead of opening the jaws like this, they evolved to open like this. And when that read Lovecraft probably know where I got inspiration from it. It is related to most of the predators, but only slightly. See? And also has the stomach. Pretty much everything that has stomach is like this because they're really, really primitive. You have to know that. As you can see, the predator below it is the smallest one of them. It has a trunk where its eyes are, where its one eye is. By the way, if you're wondering about those 2 cat fin-like tentacles, you're actually... Let's just take a rhino beetle. You see 2 little jaws. It's the same with these things, except it's for the opposite, to go in the sides. So they evolved an eye. Probably isn't the most efficient way, because it's like when you bite a tongue, maybe for them it's biting their eye stalks. Probably isn't the most smartest idea, but at least you get a further eye vision, which is an advantage. As you can see, there is some fins, some things. They're not for defensive purposes. They're for chasing prey down. Those 2 are very closely related to those 2. One of them evolved one gigantic stalk where there is a lure, and then there's also a stomach, like a Finnish flytrap. To be more specific, a pitcher plant. This one has a lot of small things, but they have a lot of them. Now let's see what happened during the last few hundred of million of years. The plants didn't evolve too much. Mostly they just focused on numbers. But due to the predators, life has become a lot more interesting for those guys. Most of them feed on little nutrients. Like in the deep sea ocean, there's something called sea snow. You can Google that up. But these guys have evolved to be herbivores, and these guys evolved to be carnivores. Now, bye everybody. Please put a like and subscribe. And thank you for watching.